皆さん、こんにちは. I would like to start out today by introducing some of the new kanji from this chapter. Let's take a look. Our first kanji is hairu, to enter. So, for example, we had this word in like ofuro ni hairu in chapter 6. Hairu is to enter something. We also have some other words like ireru, which we will learn a little bit later on. So you can also read this kanji as the I in ireru. So it's the hai in hairu, the I in ireru. It's also the I in iriguchi. Iriguchi. So we can write iriguchi with this kanji plus bi plus kuchi. We can also just write this kanji together with kuchi. So, hairu, ireru. It also has one more reading, new, which we sometimes see like to enter a school or to enter the hospital. So, we will learn today, nyugaku suru, which means like to enter a school. So, like in Japan, once you've passed your entrance exams and gotten approved to start a new school, we call that nyugaku suru. So you might have noticed that this kanji looks a little familiar, because it actually looks very similar to hito, the kanji for person, the like jin from Nihonjin. The difference between this kanji and hito has to do with the stroke order. So the stroke that you start with first is different on this kanji than it is for hito. When you write hito, you start on the left, and the left is the longest stroke. When you write this kanji, you also start on the left, but the left is short and the right is long. So let's take a look at the animation. So here you start with a short stroke about halfway up where you're going to make your kanji, and then the second stroke is a long one from the top of your kanji. So ichi, ni, ichi, ni, ichi, ni. So this is the hai in hairu, the new in nyugaku suru. Our next kanji is the de in deru. It's also the de in dekakeru. You will also see a word that we haven't covered yet in kanji Look and Learn. It's dasu, which is to take something out of somewhere. So in that case, when we have a su on the ending here, then we read this kanji as da, dasu. This kanji is also the de in deguchi, which means an exit. So we talked about iriguchi on the last slide. This one is deguchi. Let's take a look at how to write this kanji. So we're going to start in the middle with ichi, and then ni, san, yon, go. Let's do it again. Ichi, ni, san, yon, go. One last time. Ichi, ni, san, yon, go. So this is the de in deru, the de in dekakeru, the de in deguchi. Our next kanji is also one where we may not be familiar with the word yet. So this is one that we read as shi. We use this in the names of a lot of different cities in Japanese. So even though we don't use this word like all by itself to mean city, we will see it in words like tsukubashi. So tsukuba is the city, and like we add shi on to mean like city. Tsukubashi is the name of this town. This is also the shi in shicho. So we use this shi plus the kanji for nagai. The kanji for nagai also has the meaning of like a leader. So the leader of the city is the shicho. Shicho. So this kanji, it looks simple, but we may want to look at it carefully because the stroke order is slightly different than you might expect. So we start with ichi, ni, and then san, yon, go. So the vertical lines here, there's actually two separate vertical lines. There's one in this top part, this top like lid shape here, and then there's one on the bottom. So ichi, ni, san, yon, hook, go. Ichi, ni, san, yon, hook, go. Shi. Our next kanji is machi. So this is the machi that you are familiar with for talking about towns. We also sometimes see this in the names of towns in Japanese, but we are talking about much smaller towns whenever we use this with a town name. We also sometimes see it as a way of like counting different blocks and stuff in Japanese, different like blocks of a city. For right now, though, we are just going to focus on its meaning as machi. Machi. So we write this one first with the Tanaka-san no ta. So we are going to start with Tanaka-san no ta, and then we have a second part here. So, ichi, ni, san, yon, go, and then roku, nana, hook. Once again, ichi, ni, san, yon, go, roku, nana, hook. Ichi, ni, san, yon, go, roku, nana. So this is machi. Our next kanji for today is ame. Ame. So we use this kanji. We can kind of see the like raindrops on this kanji if we take a look at it. So this ame, we are going to start at the top with ichi, and then ni, san, hook, yon, go, roku, nana, hachi. Once again, ichi, ni, san, hook, yon, go, roku, nana, hachi. When we write the raindrops in this character, we do have to be a little bit careful of the direction that they're pointing. So they should be pointing down to the right. That is the correct direction for these strokes. So, ichi, ni, san, hook, yon, go, roku, nana, hachi, all diagonal to the right. That's it for the first half of the kanji that we are going to be studying in this lesson. So make sure to practice both reading and writing of kanji so you can be sure to retain them long term.